Well, I'm honestly kind of speechless. I don't really know what we can do here. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are at the Avenger defense. Before I forget, we're gonna start healing because people are injured, because this is who I have available, and it's not many. So we'll start with that. We can also possibly pass around some rockets. Let's bring you over here. Dev, transfer a rocket there. Plant X4 in the back of turrets. Plant bomb to destroy mobile power generator. Yep, we're gonna try our best.
Moving.
We have some down there. We have some down there.
Sure thing.
Half cover for you is good. Punzel go. Toxic go.
No one will slip past.
Damn,
What is this?
A little more difficult.
Wow, okay. Well, we know he's gonna be here, right? Sure. But, the reinforcement's not great. Yep, that's super.
Help! Help! Someone help!
Oh my god. This could be a campaign ender here. Like, there's like nothing I can do right now. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it makes sense because everyone's tired and stuff, right? Sorry about the camera angle. Nothing I can do.
Our soldiers are suffering out there. We'll need to give them some time to recover when we get back. Commander, one of the Chosen is here. We'll have to deal with it before it throws off the rest of our operation.
Just gotta deal with it, I guess.
Getting a little too warm over here! Steer clear of those berserkers. They can't do much from range, but they're lethal up close.
Yeah.
It's only making it worse. The armor hill. Now.
Okay. Well, I'm honestly kind of speechless. I don't really know what we can do here. I need to psi reanimate to give targets.
You'll be fine! Come
You
on,
need to
get
heal
back in the
yourself.
fight!
Toxic can't do anything.
Copy that.
That's the Exalt squad.
No.
Okay. I'm just trying not to be salty. I'm trying not to be salty.
I could use some healing.
Wow.
Their blood is spilled in vain.
It's like I'm kind of speechless. I don't really know what else I can do here. Okay. I don't understand why I can't hit both of these, but fine. Good crit. There is something to be said there. I'm gonna run this Psy zombie.
Yes.
They might reveal stuff or whatever, but honestly, that's fine. Okay.
No problem, boss.
This might hit the Muton. It did.
Too shabby.
Now these guys have counterattack, right? I bet you that is prevented by the fire. Nope.
Refocusing.
It ain't. Okay. 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 Okay.
When you are embraced by the void for your crimes against the elders, the Templars will find that nothing but eternal darkness awaits them.
Can't see this guy. Fair.
Deflection.
The Advent power cells are at maximum charge, Commander. Their cannon is primed and ready to fire.
Small strike. The elders' vengeance is carried forth. The fragile forms succumb to the perils of battle.
Alright guys, well, this is definitely the end. There's just no way of dealing with this.
Your fallen comrades will never feel the Elder's embrace.
Like, it is, irredeemable.
On it. Go, go, go.
Sacrifice you for the Elder's blessings.
Wheel up the armor. This is bad.
Try as they might, occasionally they do succeed.
System failures across the board, Commander. We can't take hits like that.
The elders created them for this very purpose. I respect they are fulfilled.
Our defense force is taking a beating out there, Commander. If we lose them, we lose the ship. We need to rethink our strategy.
Your incompetence has cost them dearly, Commander. Your forces pass into the void, their lives forsaken. Take no comfort, Commander. The sacrifice will prove pointless in the end.
I await their orders.
How long did you think you could hide?
Our defensive forces are down, Commander. There's nothing we can do to stop the Chosen now.
I can't stop.
Okay, so
now.
Future Odd stepping in here because I went a little bit rambly, as you could probably guess from the vibe of the episode. I'm obviously a little disappointed that we were unsuccessful, but at the same time, that happens. And upon review and being able to come back to this and think about the campaign a couple days later after this happened, I can formulate some thoughts a little bit quicker. I will say that we are going to be launching a new season very soon. I'm talking about 2 weeks' time. We will be using the characters that have already been submitted. I feel like for the people that became members on Patreon or on YouTube, you know, we obviously underrepresented a full campaign, and so I want you guys to feel like, you know, we have a full go at this thing. That would be ideal. It's not to say we're going to beat the next campaign either, but I'm just saying that you guys don't need to resubmit soldiers. We'll already be in there. And we'll have a much larger starting pool as well. We should have a full character pool to share with everyone when the campaign starts also, which will be very cool. But more on this later. The date that I'm looking at for starting Season 9 is going to be on the 31st of August. So we'll be back. We'll be back. And now let's talk about this campaign and what went wrong. A couple things went wrong. Let's talk about the things that I did wrong. Or incorrectly, you know, when we look back. First of all, the economy was really suffering big time. And that was largely in part to early decisions that I made to skip 2 supply raids. And at the time, you know, I may have been able to snag 5 to 10 alloys if I just sent 1 Reaper kind of thing. I might have been able to pull that off in one of the supply raids. And maybe I missed out on 30 to 40 alloys in the second one. That could have helped a lot because we might have been able to get to Predator armor a little bit sooner. And that would have made a bit of a difference, I think. I also spent a big chunk of intel on a soldier early because I felt like we were underdeveloped and snagging a soldier would kind of propel us forward to do more dark or more covert actions and more missions. But that really bit me when we had that big intel drop get destroyed by essentially a bug with the defending of the device. So those two things really kind of hurt me on the intel front, and then any small amounts of intel that I was getting, I really was just throwing at the black market for alloys, trying to expand slowly as best as I could. It was just very, very tough to do that because there were so many other problems to deal with. It just kind of started spiraling. Speaking of expanding, for the next campaign, which is already under full discussion, by the way. So by the time you guys see this, we will have already had about a week of discussion as to what we're changing for Season 9. We're keeping the overall theming the same, but we're just going to make a few tweaks based on now 30 episodes, roughly, of visual and commentary feedback from myself and all of you guys. So we're going to be removing Advent Isolation Protocol. That's the mod that requires a tower to be built every time that you're expanding. Did that make a huge difference here? Honestly, not really, because I wouldn't have had intel to expand anyways, based on the previous things that I mentioned. But I think what made it very apparent was that just the extra scanning times required to do that really set us back. And in Covert Infiltration, like, scanning times are a big deal. So there might be some tweaks that we make to scanning times and things like that also, but nothing is set in stone yet. But Advent Isolation Protocol will definitely be removed. Going back to some other things we could have done differently in the later stages of this campaign here, probably just spread ourselves a little too thin. There were a few unforeseen circumstances. For example, we had the automated defenses sit rep on the mission with that gunship that showed up, and that was very, very challenging. We were already under weaponized for that because we had to split our forces, and I just didn't have enough to buy weapons for everybody. I did make one pretty critical error there, where I was bringing out Toxic and I didn't equip her with a canister against robotic enemies. She was pretty useless in that fight. So that was unfortunate. But the other one was that big reinforcement thing on that mission. I was like, okay, we were doing the supply raid, the UFO chain, and we had an opportunity to do a flawless mission that would reduce force level. More on force level in a minute. But then they brought in like literally 25 units on reinforcements. So that was rough. Like, I had no way of knowing that it was going to be that crazy. And by the time all those units were there, obviously we couldn't fight them. But more importantly, I couldn't get to the objective in any reasonable way to try and get the successful mission. So that was a little bit disheartening, but you know, those two things really hurt us quite a bit. And then, of course, like, the Chosen, he showed up. He was showing up a lot at the beginning, then he didn't show up for a while, and then I think we got him 3 missions in a row, and I was unable to deal with him. Once he started gaining strength and he started getting a lot more armor, he started getting a lot more health, he was just very challenging to deal with because he would essentially mind control whoever he wanted, which would become a big problem for us. That was kind of an ongoing theme. But then he also, he would do the daze thing, and that would cause some problems because my action economy was struggling so much, where if I had to go and res like 2 soldiers, that's a big commitment. And then I had to be in range of hitting him with grenades. That was really our only way to deal with him. But he just had such a huge health pool by you know, the last few missions here, that it just became very challenging to deal with. There was eventually a nerf to his spectral army ability, where it was like an extra turn of cooldown, which we didn't really get to explore that much, to be honest. But I feel like he's probably in a better spot with that adjustment, and you know, hopefully I can keep him from getting out of control in a future campaign, because that really is what caused the problems with him. And normally he's not that big of a problem. If you get to pick a Chosen, you're probably picking to go against the Warlock in most situations. Another thing that I had alluded to is the force level stuff. So I got really unlucky. We had that dark event that increased the force level. And after talking to Reshi, who's an awesome mod author, by the way, I love all the enemy variety that was added with the Requiem units. It's so cool. We're definitely running that for Season 9. Like, we're not making crazy changes to anything like that. But Reshi was awesome in kind of analyzing some of the campaign. And that dark event that we had that increased the force level, I got really unlucky because it can roll a couple of times, and every time it rolled for us, it increased. So we went from like force level 7 to 10 in like not a long period of time, like a week, maybe game time, if I'm not mistaken. Something crazy, but it increased it a lot more, which that was, I think, the biggest thing that really hurt us is just the force level getting out of control. If you don't know what the force level is, you can see it at the top of your screen when you're using Covert Infiltration, but that is essentially a gate that determines how strong the enemies are based on your current progression in the game. So once that ramped up really aggressively, that became a bit of a challenge. We're also using a mod that has a variable force level increase, so it's not just a static number of days where it increases all the time. In the past, we've actually run delayed force level increase so that force level progresses a little bit more slowly, and perhaps that was just part of my normal approach now in CI that I need to adjust. And so hopefully we can tackle that for Season 9. The other challenge is, as you started to see towards, especially on the Avenger defense, on the robotic mission, even the last 3 or 4 missions, really, a lot of armor and a lot of HP. Like, so much HP to chew through, so much armor. We had one soldier that rolled shredding, and that was Geographer, who unfortunately died a few missions before this last one. Outside of that, we didn't roll it a lot. So I think one of the main changes that we're discussing is making one armor shred be standard on like the heavy cannons. And we didn't have a ton of cannon users, like Rapunzel, for example. That cannon should have one shred. I think that makes a lot of sense, and that would probably help in a lot of the circumstances. But would that have solved our problem overall? Probably not. Things just kind of got to the point where we were very poverty stricken, and we just couldn't pull it together on the strategy side. Tactically was mostly okay. You know, if I'm really analyzing the last few missions, like, you know, I think about that gunship having the 3 actions, and he was responsible for killing 2 of our soldiers in one turn. But that was because a mech blew out the cover that they were both behind. So that was a little bit of a placement mistake on my part. And then he used 3 actions to hunt down somebody that was hiding in the corner and just decimated him. So, you know, even with shredding, like that kind of stuff, there's nothing I could do at that point. And that enemy isn't technically supposed to show up until force level 13, I believe. But because of the sit rep, they got bumped in there earlier. So it was a little bit unfortunate in some circumstances, but, you know, there's definitely a lot of things that I could have done or attempted to do differently, at least. I think that covers like the main issues that we ran into on the campaign. We weren't really hurting for supplies, but alloys were just such a huge problem. Covert Infiltration removes scanning for alloys, so that's something we're considering adding back so that if you can't take a supply raid mission, like you're not going without alloys for literally 20 missions. Like that was pretty challenging. Again, exacerbated by the fact that we missed out on some intel, and I spent intel on a soldier. So there's a lot of these things that started snowballing. But I feel like with where we ended up, even on this Avenger defense mission, like there's just so many big enemies with big health pools. We just didn't have a realistic way of dealing with them based on the soldiers that I had available. Had I been able to outfit a perfect squad with all of the weapons and stuff that we had access to, hey, maybe that's different. But with our situation going into it, it was not working out very well. And I could feel this sort of death spiral happening the last few missions, and I was trying not to let it impact me. It probably did. I was probably seeing it like as a bit of an inevitability. But yeah, all that to say, we did lose. And that's a tough one. But we're going to come back with a vengeance. So production team, great job. You beat me. Okay, you beat me this round. We're going to make some tweaks and we're going to try. The goal here too, by the way, I just want to say, the tweaks that we make are not just based on my feedback. The tweaks that we make are like, everybody's watching the videos. You guys are commenting. You guys are in the Discord chatting about it. People are sharing like bug reports. People are sharing their experience with the mod list on various difficulty levels. That kind of stuff really makes a big difference. And whenever we are considering a tweak or a change, it's not just for me, it is for everybody playing the mod list, because there's a lot of you, which is awesome, that are playing these mod lists alongside me. And speaking of, one of the cool things that we're going to be doing for season 9, I think you guys will really like this, is every episode, I'm going to be sharing my save file. And so the way that I always do these videos, I go in, I set up my soldiers, I build us up for the next mission, get us ready, make a save, and then I leave and I come back the next day or later in the day or whatever and load the save and start playing. And I think it would be very cool for you guys. You could use my save right after Gatecrasher, so you have exactly the same starting pool, the same soldiers and everything, and then you just go on your merry way and you see how your campaign plays out. Or if you're interested, you can just load my save for every mission and try to tackle it. Now, I'm sure some things will still be different, like you might get different enemy pods. I don't know if that's always the same. You might get different map layouts, stuff like that. But you'll be able to play every mission at the same point in the campaign that I'm playing, if you so choose. I think that's a really cool idea. And somebody in the Discord actually inspired that idea by asking if I would save my or share my save from after Gatecrashers so that they could launch in with the same stuff. And I think that's a really cool approach. One of the neat ideas I've had about XCOM for a long time is having you guys actually submit your save files with like a mission you struggled on or something, and then I try it myself. I think that would be very cool. There's a little challenge logistically there because we'd have to use the same mods and all this kind of stuff. So, more on that to come, I guess. But yeah, anyways, all this to say, really tough campaign. Could have done a lot of things differently. Definitely had some bad luck in there. We had some good luck too. I think it all bounced out pretty well because things could have went a lot worse in some scenarios and they could have went a lot better in some scenarios. So yeah, anyways, I hope that helps. I hope you guys still enjoyed, but we will be back in 2 weeks' time with season 9. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts. When this video goes up, I will be halfway through my vacation, but I will be paying attention to the comments and the chatter on Discord and stuff like that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you for season 9 in 2 weeks. Bye.